Live from Los Angeles, welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Aaron.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm GMLA. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Also available on Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app.
And it is hashtag Thought Thursday. We're going to talk about how to choose your inner circle. I think it's so important. We come together each day to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, align with universal law, and have more and more coffee. I'm drinking
more
too much
huh?
coffee.
Are you? You got coffee overload?
My glass is always half full with French roast, and then it's French rosé.
There you go. I got to stay consistently caffeinated, huh?
Absolutely. Well, we're so excited on this hashtag Thought Thursday to welcome our very special guest to the show. Good morning, ladies, back in the studio.
Good morning.
They need a little more of the coffee back there. Dr. Nadine is in the house, and we're talking real men talk today and developing emotional coping skills for our young boys. But first, Dr. Nadine, we want to know, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
My morning routine consists of slow stretches to get the juices flowing in the morning.
Slow stretches. I love that. You need to stretch a little bit more. I feel like I could be more flexible, you know?
I'm loving that. Monique Rodriguez is in the house. She has got the secret sauce to success. Spoken like a true entrepreneur of a $20 million company. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're so excited that you're here. You look gorgeous today, by the way.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm sure she's using her own meal products in her hair.
Absolutely.
Of course. So tell us, how does an entrepreneur like you start her day? What's your morning routine?
Well, because my day is so busy, it's so much going on throughout the day, I have to get up early in the morning. So I get up at 5 o'clock every day because I believe in consistency, because I feel that consistency teaches discipline. So I have to get up for clarity. I pray, I meditate, I read a devotional, I read my Bible, I exercise, and then I just sit still, just to practice stillness, to be aware of my own thoughts and for God to speak to me, because I feel that He speaks to you in the moment of stillness. So that helps me gain clarity for the day, and it actually helps me have a great day. Like if I get up later, like my whole day is off. So I have to get up early before everyone else in my house does.
Oh,
Yes.
just love that, right?
Yes, we agree.
What's my favorite Ramana Maharshi quote? Stillness is eloquent speaking. Right? Just love that. Yeah.
Consistency is key.
Yes.
Priscilla Sai is in the house. She is the founder of Coco Kind. Good morning, Priscilla.
Hey guys, how are you?
We're so grateful that you're here today. We want to know all about your journey to creating a very conscious and sustainable skincare line. But first, tell us, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Yeah, so for me, every day is a little bit different, but especially no matter what I do, I always start my day with a hot beverage. So I'm like a very DIY person. I'm always mixing. I mix my own, created my own skincare line being that way. And so in the morning, I actually mix a bunch of superfoods into a latte that I make. So it'll be like a cacao or matcha or turmeric with ashwagandha and maca root. So I kind of get a little bit creative first thing in the morning, and I start my day really peaceful, just sipping a latte.
Ah, fantastic. Start the super day with the superfoods. It's awesome.
Absolutely. And that ashwagandha, it's
Yeah.
a buzzword in the beauty scene
What
these
is
days.
that?
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Hot off the festival circuit, Simone is in the house promoting Double Entendre this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us, how does a filmmaker like you start her day? What's your morning routine?
Morning routine for me is prayer, warm water with lemon, and then I do something called writing morning pages, which is a process I learned following a book called The Artist's Way. And there's various steps in that book to sort of get you on the right path as a creative. So it's for anyone who's creative, writers, artists, filmmakers like myself. And I've kept up that process, and I found it really helpful. It sort of helps you to get rid of anything from the day before that you don't need to carry around with you for the next day, and to really set you on a great path for today, for the current day.
Fantastic. Boy, Artist's Way. Do you remember reading that book, The
Oh
Artist's
my
Way?
gosh,
Right?
it's been a long time.
It's
I
incredible.
just remember
Still
everybody
popular.
talking.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for being with us today. We look forward to continuing the conversation later in the show.
Awesome. Boy.
So
I gotta
what's
tell,
going
if all of LA started the day the way our guests do, there'd be no problems at all in traffic. Everyone would be so friendly and kind.
You know
It's
what's
amazing.
really interesting, though, is the common denominator of our over 3,000 guests that have been on Good Morning La La Land is gratitude, prayer.
Yeah.
They're consistent about their rituals.
It's true.
They wake up, they're journaling. One guy even said he was scribing. Of course, then there's, the left fielders who are on their Instagram feed.
Yeah.
But it's really highly encouraging to see so many people who are so successful in their own rights really taking the time for themselves in the morning.
Agreed, Jess. Love that. Important to be intentional.
Right, and I think that's kind of like, it really has become the theme of the show, which is, we've talked about inspiration, positivity, everything, but really it's all about getting your morning right.
I know, exactly.
We are most likely going to be launching some different practices, some courses, some products all around starting your day right.
Yes,
Sounds like
I
the
love it.
divine calling from the
Well,
universe.
I can't wait to learn more about it.
Absolutely. So today is Thought Thursday, and we want to talk about how to choose your inner circle. So I don't know about you guys, but it's been a big process over the course of my own awakening and my own development to pick and choose my inner circle. I remember years ago wanting to become a spiritual practitioner, and part of that was you no longer complain, you only focus on what you do want to create instead of what you don't want to create. That's one of the core principles. And I remember thinking, how do I deal with people in my life that are complaining or just focusing on what they don't want?
Yeah.
So that was a whole process, and then it's like evolved into a bunch of, it's gotten more and more lean.
Well, then
into
social media developed, and then you could just unfriend them. Made it real simple. Just click a button.
Right? So how do you guys pick your inner circle?
It's a great question. Jess?
My inner circle, it's interesting to see how it's evolved over the years. The people who have really stuck with you, the ones that'll bury a body, if you will, right? Who have never judged me and always supported me. And it's interesting because the universe has just brought those people into my life and those people out of my life that were no longer serving me, but in a very loving way. There was never like a huge, massive chasm in my relationships. They just kind of stepped back. I didn't reach out as much and just allowed that.
That's my experience too, Jess, almost perfectly. I would say I haven't chosen my inner circle has chosen me, right?
that.
And I would say that the folks that aren't comfortable with me, like taking my time and responding to their text messages or their phone calls,
Totally, right.
they usually find their way out of my life into a different circle, you know what I mean? And I love them all the same, but I'm not into pressure and stress, so.
That's a big thing. It's a big principle and a core value that you have for your life.
Totally, live and let live.
Sure, yeah. So I think it's really interesting because I've been really dabbling in it myself because I am getting to the place where I'm really clear of what works for me and doesn't work for me with people that are really in my inner circle. One is that I don't even like to even debate truth anymore because that's when I'm at work, that's what I do all day long at work is, basically teaching principle and unveiling truth. So I don't really want to do that when I'm with my inner circle. So I actually really love to just create amazing, I love to create as an entrepreneur. So that's in my inner circle. And then also just enjoying life and enjoying truth.
Look, top principle and values for me, happiness, kindness.
Right.
You're right, and not complaining. At the end of the day, everybody has enough problems of their own. They don't want to hear your problem.
You will not be in my life if you complain.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. I will meet you where you are, and I will do what I can to help. But if that is the conversation all the time, it's exhausting. Yeah, you have to pay for that. I'm sorry, that's a service, and it comes at a premium.
And I really appreciate people who are honest with me. Real honesty. People who can challenge me but still support me, even if our opinions differ on whatever it might be, something that's personal or professional, to really be able to support each other with no judgment.
It's a great call. I think it is the loving, non-judgmental honesty, because there are lots of people that are like, I'm being real, I'm going to be honest with you. It's like, I want the loving version.
Yeah. Keep it 100.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So there's kind of like 3 areas. You can look at multiple areas of choosing your inner circle, but for me, I think it's like 3 things. One is, what are the characteristics and principles that you want to embody, and are the people around you, living on those principles, if you want to up your game. Second is to look at what is the lifestyle that you truly desire to have. And that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone drives around in Maseratis. It means, what is the lifestyle? What are they up to? Where are they putting their energy in their life? Do they go out late and drink, or do they, go to yoga? It doesn't matter. Whatever lifestyle you align with, making sure that you align with those people. And then thirdly is really, what is the legacy they're leaving, or what is the intention behind their life, and making sure that you're surrounding yourself. And I think it's about up-leveling and really pushing yourself outside your circle. And it's great to have people that you've known forever and evolve and live those principles, and some stay and some leave, but also to seek out those people or communities that really are living the life that you really desire to embody.
Absolutely. I love this point, Aaron. When I came out of undergrad, I went to work for a consulting firm, a Big 5 consulting firm, and there was an expression they had there, which was up or out. And the idea was that they chose you, and you were going to start with the grunt work, you'd been an analyst, but they chose you because they thought you had partner potential. Right? So as a part of this track, And if you weren't moving up, you were moving out of the company, right? And so that generally happens, I think, in all of our lives pretty consistently when you're doing your own work.
Totally.
People seem to sort of spiral out of your life. But I love that point around sort of just leveling up your life, right?
Well, and they say you're the sum of the 5 people closest to you, right? So choose your inner circle wisely. Choose someone who can really teach you something, and choose people that you can then teach and serve as well. Those are really key people to have in your life, those that you learn from and those that you serve.
Touche. That's why I feel so good about this team right here.
Right. So let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to find out about our guests and how they've used their thinking for good. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk. I'm GMLA, the co-founder and host of EverTalk TV, and I am thrilled to introduce you to America's first live video streaming talk show network.
I'm so excited to be here on the couch with all you amazing people.
Yeah.
I'm just in complete awe. Thank you.
Happy to be here. And for those who don't know what goes on, this is a big old, there's a lot going on here. You do this every day.
Live.
God bless you guys. I mean, people, there's a lot going on.
Thank you for having me. This is an awesome studio.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I feel that, actually. I can feel that.
How exciting Motivation Monday. And the guests this morning have been incredible.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you.
And we have Rachel Boston, who is in The Last Bridesmaid on Hallmark. It actually is dropping tomorrow, the 22nd, right?
It is. Tomorrow night's our premiere.
Woo!
Congratulations! I am so excited to welcome Jason and Ashley Waller to the show. Congratulations on the new beginnings. We're so excited for the premiere on MTV tonight.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it. Thank you.
The book is actually being shipped out today. It published this week.
What? Congratulations.
You guys are the first show that I've actually done talking about the book.
I think this is my first time my book's been up on TV. This is awesome.
Our friends at Universal Pictures have a special delivery for us this morning from a tethered himself.
Ooh.
Have you seen the film Us by Academy Award winner Jordan Peele?
You know, I'm sitting here next to you guys, and it's just like, this is a powerful moment for me. Like, you know, I'm humbled by it because it's like I'm sharing this movie with you guys, and you know, it's moving for me.
What are you most grateful for today?
I am so grateful to be here and to have the opportunity to be with all these wonderful, badass boss babes and with all of you. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to share the positive messages out in the world, because I think the world really needs it right now.
What we've done and thanking me for the contribution we're making to their lives.
Oh,
and I thought,
nice. That's
this
great.
is what my purpose is. This is why I was born. Now,
Show the camera.
up to you to choose the winner. Is it Annie? Is it Haley?
That's why I like this show. You know, years ago I did the Dinah Show, which is Dinah Shore, and it was a daytime show. And it was kind of like this. It was just like very up, and it was all positive stuff. They didn't bring negative stuff to the audience. And that's what I feel with this show. It's very relaxed. You know, it's very professional, but it's quite a bit of fun.
You can binge watch and binge watch.
You can binge watch.
And you can binge watch. Binge watch, or you can binge watch. Please binge watch.
You can binge watch and binge them on EverTalk TV. Thanks for coming. Bye.
First TV experience. I'm so happy I did it with you.
That will inspire, uplift, and empower you. Anytime, anywhere on EverTalk TV, your home for talk.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning Lala. We're talking about using our thinking for good and our inner circle. So we have Monique Rodriguez. She is the founder of Mael Organics, and you have built a very, very big, successful company. And first of all, I want you to tell the audience about what the company is and how you had to circle yourself with what inner circle had you have your success.
Yes, so Mael Organics is a natural hair care company. So we service curly hair, natural hair, multicultural women with hair products for styling, for hair growth, for length retention. I started my company 5 years ago, so I've been doing this since 2014. My background is in nursing, so I was a registered nurse before stepping out on faith and starting Mael. So yes, of course you have to surround yourself with positive people. You want to surround yourself with people that are going to help you go to the next level, but you also have to eliminate certain people from your life as well too, because especially where I come from, not everyone wants to see you successful, and not everyone can understand that you have dreams and aspirations to do something that they may not be able to do. So I had to eliminate certain people from my life in order to go and pursue my dreams. And as I continue to climb the successful ladder per se, I try to just surround myself with people that I can learn from, and also people that know more than me, because I feel that that's the only way that you can grow. So it's really important for, again, me to put myself in that mindset and attract the right people into my realm, into my world, and that's how I continue to grow.
You mentioned stepping out in faith earlier.
Yes.
This company started out in your garage
Yes.
with your husband, and now it's a $20 million company. So tell us a little bit about that, about partnering with your husband in that, and the factors and the mindsets you both had to have to walk in faith.
Yeah, so I mean, me and my husband, we've always been dreamers. So like when we've been together since we were 16. I was 16, he was 17. So we've been together since we were kids, and we used to drive around in like big neighborhoods with these big mansions and say, wow, we want to live like that one day. So it's all about visualization and manifestation. I'm really big on that. And I had this idea, I had several ideas before, so I tried to start a lot of other things before I started Mael. And my husband, he always supported me from day one. He never said, well, that's a dumb idea. So I came to him and I said, I want to start a hair care company. He was like, well, let's go for it. So, I did it for a good 6 months before I left my job, and he tried to hang on to his job for like a year into the business until it just became like too much, and he eventually had to leave his job. And of course you had the naysayers say like, oh, you guys are leaving stable careers to go sell shampoo and conditioner, and now look at us now. So it's like you have to.
And now your cup is overflowing so much that you're able to give back to young entrepreneurs. Can you tell us a little bit about your foundation?
Absolutely. So I started a mentorship program. It's called the Secret Sauce to Success Academy, and it's basically a 6-week online mentorship program where I help other women entrepreneurs that look like me, that was once me 5 years ago, that had this idea that's like, okay, how do I get my idea out? Like, what are the steps that I need to take? So I help with like branding and marketing strategies. I help people that were once, because I'm an introvert, people that are shy and reserved, come out of their shell and just put themselves out there on social media to connect with people, to sell their gift. Because we all have a gift. We've all been blessed with certain gifts and talents, but it's for us to figure out what those gifts and talents are and use them to the best of our abilities. So I work with women and I bring out their gifts and talents.
Fantastic.
You were like an icon.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys talk about a power couple. So it's interesting, I wonder, when you made this sort of quantum leap from the nursing to starting these businesses and eventually to the business that you're running now, what did you learn in the process that you think has made this business so incredibly successful?
So what I learned in the process is people want to do business with who they know, like, and trust. So as I mentioned, I tried to do a lot of other ventures and nobody would buy anything from me because I was just trying to sell a product. People don't want to be sold to. And this business was different because I was actually doing something that I love and that I was passionate about, and I started on social media before a product. So people were connecting with me based off of that passion and not me just selling and putting a product out there. So that was the one thing that I did differently, and I didn't know that I was doing it differently. I was really just operating in my gift and just talking about what I love, and that was hair. Hair care. I can talk about hair care all day. And because I chose to connect with people on that level and then come out with the product, people trusted me, and they trusted the fact that I was a nurse. They trusted the fact that I put myself out there, and that's how people buy from you. They buy off of emotions.
That is gold. I once read a book called The Marketing Power of Emotion. It was precisely about that. The whole idea was that, when you love your product and you love your service, and it basically embodies you, then it sells itself.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, she's a walking billboard.
Indeed.
You have great hair. So tell us a
Thank
bit
you.
about what makes your product so unique.
Yeah, so I'm really big on natural and organic ingredients. So we formulate using certified organic ingredients, and I'm also the guinea pig. So I test everything before it goes out in the market. So it's great for our customers to see that here's the CEO of this company, and she looks like me, she's relatable, and she's using the product versus them not knowing who's using the product or who's testing the products. And I'm always talking about ingredients. I'm always educating my customers on ingredients because we are big on healthy hair. And healthy hair, like especially in the African American community, like we don't have long hair, or that's the stereotype. So I'm here to like break that stereotype to show that, look, if you take care of your hair can grow and it can be healthy if you use the correct ingredients.
Wow, and what I love about your company also is the name.
Yes.
Tell them a little bit about both where it came from, but also the spiritual aspect of it.
Yeah, I love talking about that. So my company is named after my daughters, and funny thing is, so me and my daughters, we share the same birthday, which is next Tuesday. So they're my inspiration. Thank you. And I wanted to name the company after what inspires me, what motivates me, what makes me get up every day, and it's my children. So their names Mia and Mackenzie. Their middle name is Gabrielle and Ariel, so they're my L's.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Just love that.
I love that. Very spiritual name as well, Elle. Very beautiful. Thank you so much. Tell people where they can get the product and find and follow your personal.
Yeah, so you can follow me on social media. My personal IG handle is @ExquisiteMo and @MyElleOrganics, and our website, myelleorganics.com.
Congratulations.
Thank
on
you
all
so
the
much. Stay
Thank
tuned.
you.
We're back tomorrow on Good Morning La La Land. Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk. EverTalk is #community powered, so we are excited to offer you a free 30-day subscription to explore the talk shows that will bring you timeless entertainment and evergreen conversations that will inspire, uplift, and empower you anytime, anywhere at EverTalk TV. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. Simone McIntyre is in the house from Chandeliers and Tears to award-winning film festival creator auteur. Tell us a little bit about your personal journey.
So I've been an actor for a few years. However, a couple of years ago, I decided to put pen to paper and thought maybe I could create something myself and be the driving force. And a couple of years later, I've produced 6 short films and I have 2 features ahead of me. And it's kind of been an organic process. I originally wrote my first project for myself, but then other people saw what I was doing and were like, oh, can you come in and help me produce this? And a few other people around me, other creators, why do you want to do someone else's work or someone else's vision? And I said, well, it speaks to me. And I believe I was right to just follow what speaks to me, because then I got one project with 2 awards already, and we've just yesterday got into 3 other festivals internationally with it. Wow. And so I believe go with your gut. Yeah. And yes, it's scary to decide that you're going to be the boss of something and you're going to be the leader and create, but it's been the best thing for me to do.
Congratulations. And I think that, we're starting to see more and more female leaders in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
It's super important. And we're talking a little bit about our inner circle today. And so for you, what has been some of the keys or things that you've done around surrounding yourself with people that have helped you in this process?
Well, initially, when I first we did the first project, and it was quite ambitious, and I had no money, but I did have a vision. And I explained to the people who I wanted to come on board, look, this is what I want to do. I don't have anything financially to give you, but this is what I see. And in return, I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure that I can recommend you to the world and to basically make it in an exchange. And it has actually worked for many of my colleagues. And so I'm grateful that they've believed in me. So essentially it's having people around you that believe in me and I believe in them, even though they can't physically, tangibly see what I'm talking about, they stayed with me.
I mean, you've got to have people around you that believe in you. Yeah,
that's basically
so
it.
Big.
Did you find that those people who believed most in you were people that were new people? Were they people that you knew for a long time? Was it a mix of both?
A mix of both. I think a lot of new people have come forward and have just come from nowhere and have no reason to trust me, but I don't know why. They too keep
their
trusting
character,
me.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, maybe they're silly. I don't know, but it has been a lot of new people. I will say, it has caused a sort of a shift in who surrounds you. But if that's what it's meant to be, that's what it's meant to be.
Who would you say are some of your biggest inspirations in creating your artistic voice and style as a filmmaker?
I love Ava DuVernay in the way that in the projects she creates and leads and helms, but also she's so focused on making sure that other people are supported in delivering their voice as well, and gives so much to many other filmmakers, and that's a great inspiration to me, I think.
Speaking of, you have such a great voice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I want to bottle it up. The whole film thing doesn't work out.
Totally, right? That's a good point. So what would you say has been the greatest obstacle or hurdle for you in this process? Was it sort of around fundraising? Was it finding those people that you could connect with? Was it creating the vision?
With each project, there have been different hurdles, and so I think one of the low moments on the first one was when we turned up to shoot, and we scouted the area. It was outside. Of course, we didn't have money for permits, and of course, the local council decided to put blocks up everywhere, and there was no way we could shoot. And I just felt really guilty because everybody was there for me, for my project, and I had to say, guys, we have to postpone this. And I felt really guilty because of that. But, it happens. So those kinds of things, there's always lots of stories like that where something you wouldn't believe.
In Miami, we'd always pretend it was a wedding. It was a wedding it's harder to say no to the folks without the permit if they think there's a wedding.
That's right.
What do you think you've learned about yourself in this journey as a creator?
That my instinct is really important to my whole creative process and to pushing me forward. And also, I have this thing where I don't necessarily care about what's on someone's resume, but if their energy matches, I take a chance on them.
I love that.
Yeah.
Very well said. Well, please tell everyone where they can find and follow you and watch your films.
So my personal website is simonemcintyre.com to find out about the work I do with my producing partner, Justin Juice Black of XL Films. It's xlfilms.uk, and on Instagram I am the Simone McIntyre.
It's spelled with a Y.
Yes.
That's so great. Stay tuned.
you.
We'll be right back.
Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk.
Hi everybody, I am so excited to have with me today Amanda Schoen, creator of Rivers 8, a luxury travel accessory line for those who crave luxury without cruelty. My next guest is Missy Reeves. You guys may know and love Missy from her very long career as Jennifer Horton on Days of Our Lives. Dan Holtz is a dear friend, co-founder of Beverly Hills Rejuvenation Center, and is known as the wellness expert to the stars.
EverTalk is hashtag community powered, so we are excited to offer you a free 30-day subscription to explore the talk shows that will bring you timeless entertainment and evergreen conversations that will inspire, uplift, and empower you anytime, anywhere at EverTalk TV.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La Land. On Thought Thursday, there's nothing more impactful than the films that we watch all the time. We have Robert Jones in the house and the newest thriller, American Dreamer, with Jim Gaffigan and some big names. Congratulations, it just came out this last week, right?
Yes, thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell the audience a little bit about the synopsis.
Well, the movie is about a rideshare driver who's very down on his luck, having some real tough times financially and personally, and to make a little extra cash, he starts chauffeuring around a low-level drug dealer. And by the end of the night, he's decided to ransom this drug dealer's son that he decides to kidnap, and it goes horribly wrong. So, yeah, it's pretty dark, a dark drama for Jim and myself.
Tell us a bit about your character, though, specifically.
My character's name is Maz. He is the low-level drug dealer. He's basically just a father trying to provide for his son, sort of a bit of a victim of his circumstances, and runs into this guy who's been chauffeuring him around, who gets this crazy idea and ends up kidnapping his son and chauffeuring him around to try to find the person who kidnapped his son, but he doesn't know that he's being chauffeured around by the guy.
So I also know you're in the upcoming season 2, Titans.
Yes.
Everybody's talking about that. What is it specifically about the roles that you're choosing that really appeal to you?
Well, yeah, actually, I just try to find things that I really can sink my teeth into, things that move people, and stuff that I really respond to personally. Like with American Dreamer, this seemed like a really good opportunity to do something that was really far away from myself. I mean, I'm nothing like this guy.
No, your happiness is just like contagious.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be smiling. I'm like, you are not a kidnapper.
No, I've never dealt a drug in my life. That's a good thing. And this other character on Titans is just something different. He's an alien, and he has green eyes, and he does a lot of crazy things. He has powers and stuff. So it was just something fun to do, and something I really
If
gravitated
you could have
to.
a power, what would it be?
Oh man, don't ask me that. I think I would be invisible and fly.
Oh wow, love that. Double up. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about Inner Circle, and what's your upbringing? Where did you come from? Where did you get this great mindset that's having you have all the success?
From Sacramento, California, and
That explains it all.
Yeah, no, California guy through and through, and went to college at UC Berkeley. So I'm just California born and bred. Yeah.
And what kind of inner circle have you surrounded yourself with to land you into this success in life?
Wow, inner circle. I have a few people that I have a guy who I was raised with, like a brother of mine. He was born the day before me, and we've been best friends my whole life, and then a couple of cousins. So I just really keep my circle pretty tight. Yeah. And my wife now, and I have a little daughter, so it's pretty simple for me. Close friends and family, and I got a little one to raise now, so it's been great.
Oh wow, congratulations.
Yeah,
How old's your little one?
17 months.
17 months, wow, really little.
Walking, talking, doing sign language, a little bit of everything now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what would you say has been the most important thing you've learned in your entire journey in this, sort of both personally and professionally that's led you both to success and happiness?
You know what? The number one thing is to keep God first in everything that I do, honestly. For me, it's been all about that. I know that He has my best in my future, and I've really been trusting God with my whole career, and He hasn't led me astray yet. So it's been
good
great.
inner circle.
Yes, exactly. You may just need one
family,
for the inner
God,
circle there. You're good. Yeah.
So I have to ask the question, I think that obviously there's a lot of African Americans that get a little annoyed of the typecasting of a black person, right?
Sure.
So was that any consideration of taking on this role, and like what roles do you aspire for or want to write out, or what's there in that conversation for you?
Absolutely. With this role in particular, this role could have very easily been this very kind of one-dimensional role where you see this guy as a stereotype, but the film was actually written to be a social commentary on white privilege in America today and how disenfranchised minority groups are negatively affected. So this movie really has a deeper message to it, but on the surface it could seem very surfacey. So
Right. Yeah, we got you going.
Yeah.
So those are the best kinds of movies because they're both entertaining, but they also allow you to receive something deeper and more meaningful.
Exactly.
At the same time.
Yeah. Hopefully people can connect to that because that's what the movie was all about. And on the surface, it's a very dark kind of a thriller type movie. But if you watch the movie and you see it for what it is, I think people will really get the message that's behind behind it.
What can you tell us about Fantasy Island?
Whoa, Fantasy Island, that was a fun one. We shot that out in Fiji. It's coming out next year. Michael Pena, Maggie Q, a few others. Brought to you by Blumhouse, the same people who brought you Get Out. And it was a heck of a ride out there. It's a bit of a thriller. It's based on the series from the 80s, but it's kind of turned on its ear with a bit of a thriller, chiller kind of vibe,
As
of course,
Blumhouse
as
would.
Blumhouse would do. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes together.
Well, we're looking forward to continuing to watch your journey. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you.
Robbie Jones online on Instagram and the Robbie Jones on Twitter.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great work.
Yeah, thank you.
Stay tuned. We're back with more on Good Morning La.
Thanks a lot.
Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk.
That's one thing. When my husband and I, we were both like very depressed, but one thing that's helped us like kind of recover, snap out of it, was to make the decision to go out and carry on her legacy and trying to help the rest of the world. In fact, my husband, he goes to work, he has a desk. One pile of papers, he says, makes money. The other one, big pile of papers, saves lives. So he took the one pile of papers and gave it to his top executives, said, you run the company. My mission in life is to go out and save lives.
I love
so that's what we're doing now.
And the way that you're actively getting in there. Like it's not you're not just at, but you putting yourself out there and the husband, going to DC, doing this thing, it's like you're actually getting in the trenches. And that's important.
EverTalk is #community powered, so we are excited to offer you a free 30-day subscription to explore the talk shows that will bring you timeless entertainment and evergreen conversations that will inspire, uplift, and empower you anytime, anywhere at EverTalk TV. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La. I'm so excited to have a conversation about men, young boys, emotional coping skills. Dr. Nadine is in the house, and you've created this kind of brand around real men talk. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey and what your mission is?
Well, the mission is essentially that there's been a traditional stereotype of males as being strong and silent, and that's attractive. And for that reason, we've never really, as a society, encouraged our men to talk about their feelings, their transitions, important things that we take for granted as females that we can talk about.
Was that an experience you can relate to, Rob?
Strong, silent, attractive, not so much. I was just so basically crippled by my own anxiety and insecurities. And thank God I had parents that were sort of open to me expressing myself. But yeah, I would say that as I got older, that was an increasing challenge because to share how you feel consistently is often considered a weakness.
It's fascinating that I love that you're doing this. And same, my son says, the hardest thing I ever overcame was finding his own voice and getting in touch with his emotions and being able to express them. So this is really important, the work that you're doing. So how are you doing this? How's the platform coming out to the world?
Well, essentially, I've partnered with an athlete. And as you may be familiar, in our society, athletes represent everything successfully male as a stereotype.
Yeah, totally.
And so the easiest way to challenge a stereotype is to take the stereotype and have them do something out of character. And so that's the approach that we're taking. Jason Caffey has been very comfortable discussing his issues with depression, anxiety, development. And so he has willingly come out and joined with me to go and present an alternative narrative for males.
I love that.
I just love this, absolutely. A large part of my private practice really consists of athletes, and mostly what we talk about is how they feel, because they don't get a chance to express it in a way that they feel will be received by the world. So if there's somebody out there, maybe it's a guy or maybe it's a woman that wants to support a guy in being able to express what he's thinking and feeling in a way that can be received and also can be supported, what would you recommend?
One of the most important things that we need to understand is that it is actually harder for males to express their feelings. They've not had as much practice, and it takes them longer. So if we can be more patient, and sometimes not in the moment, but if we give them a little bit of time, come back and ask them what was that really about, and they've had time to think about it, it's easier for them to get in touch with it. But a lot of times, we're a little impatient We want to know right then what's going on, and a lot of men just don't process it that quickly.
I've had trouble with that in past relationships with, my brother, my father, my boyfriend, and that I come across maybe that I'm nagging or I'm probing too much, and their wall just goes up, instantly defensive, when really all I'm trying to do is actually connect. So is there a way of approaching that conversation besides just give them space and saying, hey, I want to hear you, I want to be the safe space for you?
Everything that you're saying is normal. It's a typical dialogue. The problem is that men don't dialogue the way we do. So the more we ask, the more defensive they become.
You're telling me. I've been there.
The best approach actually is just put it out there and expect a delayed response. It can come back 24 hours later, 48 hours later, but delayed response.
A year later.
Yeah.
And you can loop back to it later, but the key is not to ask frequently and in short spurts. We have to give them time to process.
So how can we start though with our young boys?
That's the key. One of the things that I've learned through this journey is the younger we start males talking, the easier it becomes for them. So that's one of the reasons we started with our first book, which is Richard and the Boys, The Puberty Experience, because that's one of the things males are not encouraged to talk about. There's all kinds of books and pamphlets, et cetera, for females going through puberty. But males, we just expect them to know what to do and what's going to happen. And that really isn't the case. They have the same mood swings, they have the same hormonal changes that women do, and no one's talking to them about it.
Such a great point, and I remember finding the body research that basically said, look, men and women experience pretty much the same levels of depression, but it's expressed differently. Whereas men tend to sort of express their depression through anger or through drinking. Women will often ruminate and then will connect with other women. But it's interesting that we experience kind of the same emotions and feelings and have similar experiences, but they're just manifest in such different ways.
Exactly, and even more dangerous is the fact that not only is it expressed in different ways, but our approaches to solutions are different. Women will ask for help, men won't. And so what's really scary is that men are 4 times more likely to die from suicides than females.
So true.
Because of the fact that they are not open. It's not accepted for them to ask for help. It's seen as weakness. And we really, as a society, need to get over that.
And it's interesting because I'm watching you and going, well, it's interesting that a woman is being, the leader for this, right? And I guess for me as I'm Dr. Divinity and coach, and a lot of times I work primarily with women, and I have men reach out, but I feel like it's not my place. I don't want to I feel like at some level, I want there to be a man that's going to guide that at some level. You know what I mean? When they're ready, they're going to find that leader and stuff. Not that I think it's good that you're doing it, but what do you feel about that as far as a woman taking this on versus?
I agree with you in the sense that we have what we would like to see. But the reality is about 25% of the families are being led by women. I'm one of those. I had 2 sons. And so at the end of the day, what we would like to see men step up and do for each other, first of all, they didn't experience it. Our first school is the house we grew up in. So if they grew up with men who did not talk to them, they don't have the tools to then talk to young boys. So a lot of times in this particular generation, I think it's important that women go ahead and step up and fill the gap. I know I would love to have a man do it. I would have loved for men to do it for my sons. But the reality is that wasn't what was available.
So
it's powerful. I had a conversation yesterday with a guy, and it was so interesting because he said to me, the only thing I remember as a kid, sort of being a boy, being told was that, if you're crying or if you're sad, I'll give you something to cry about. I'll give you something to be sad about. Like literally, that was the message.
Yes.
So you very quickly learned to, shut it down if you're upset. But of course, you don't quite shut it down. You just hide it.
Exactly.
You just mask it.
And what we end up seeing, and this was the case with Jason, my partner, when you experience things as child, fear, anxiety, things that stress you, if there's no release, it is energy that stays. It does not go away. And so as you mature, it transforms into things that represent more complications for your life. And so childhood fear can translate into adult anxiety.
So can you maybe share a bit of some of those symptoms and how it does translate? So if there is a man watching or a woman who's saying, hey, I might recognize this in my husband, in my son, in my lover, what are the signs of that and how can we start coping?
Okay, when it comes to anxiety, what you'll notice, for example, with 16-year-old boys, I'll start there and then move up. With 16-year-old boys, you might actually come home and find holes in the drywall. because they're so frustrated, but they don't know how to express the frustration.
That was me. I used to punch walls.
Really?
I would just take my frustration. I would just punch walls. I'd get upset because I missed honestly, because I'd missed a couple shots basketball and I'd punch the wall because I'm like, how else do you express
You
it?
can process that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't punch other people though. That was good.
That was good.
Believe it or not, that happens with 25% of boys. The hole in the wall, no one talks about it because parents are embarrassed. They don't want to make it sound like they have an out of control son. And it's not that they're out of control. It's just that there's a level of frustration that they do not know how to express. 25% of the homes you will go in the room, there will be a hole in the wall.
Amazing.
That is so interesting.
Then it goes into what? Alcoholism, drug
And then you will
addiction.
see it.
Yeah.
You will see it in older men where to relax they need a drink to unwind. They may need to smoke a little. In other words, they start self-medicating the pain.
Because they never learned to self-soothe.
Exactly. And the whole self-soothing concept, you brought up something which was really interesting. We teach our boys not to cry. And one of the key body's mechanisms to self-soothe is crying. That's why when you have a good cry, you feel so good afterwards.
Right.
Because that's the body cleansing. And see,
Just might have a
women will
good
not
cry right
go,
now.
"I'm a good crier." Exactly.
Well, thank you, Dr. Nadine. We really do appreciate you in this conversation. Please tell everyone where they can learn more and follow.
Well, you can follow us on Doc and Jock, DOCNJOCK.com, and the book Richard and the Boys is also available on Amazon.
Great work.
Fantastic.
Amazing
Truly.
work. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk.
So I like to ask all my guests, and just tell me what first thing that comes to your mind, don't overthink it, is what's your golden secret?
My golden secret, other than using the Youth Beauty golden secret face oil.
Check.
Yeah, that was a hashtag not sponsored ad. They say to throw your hat over the fence and then go get it. And for me, that's been, whether I've been ready, whether I think I'm ready, whether I've prepared, done all my research, I'm, in this perfect position to do something. I'm never that. So I just throw my hat over the fence and then I figure out a way to go get it. I live my life knowing that I'm capable of choosing what I'm doing and what my life looks like.
I think that might be one of my favorite golden secrets so far.
Really? EverTalk is hashtag community powered, so we are excited to offer you a free 30-day subscription to explore the talk shows that will bring you timeless entertainment and evergreen conversations that will inspire, uplift, and empower you anytime, anywhere. And EverTalk TV, your home for talk.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning Lala. On Thought Thursday, it's important to start using our thinking for what we are consuming. It's very important that each time we choose to, buy a product that we are making an impact in the world and in people's lives. So today we have Priscilla Tsai in the house. She is the founder of Coco Kind, which is a clean and conscious skincare for all. I love that. Yes. Beautifully done. Tell us a little bit about your line.
Yeah, so I started the company 4.5 years ago, and I actually worked in finance on Wall Street for a couple of years after college, and I was dealing with such bad hormonal acne. And I was on all the harshest internal prescriptions, topical prescriptions, and I would literally have to put Cetaphil on in the morning in the dark because my eyes would sting so badly and my skin would sting so badly that my eyes would water. And it was just this really terrible process every morning, basically, of putting my skincare routine on and then slapping a bunch of makeup on my face to cover my skin up. And it was a really mentally impactful time period for me, but also physically impactful. And one of my friends had suggested, you're starting to have all these gut issues from these antibiotics that I was taking every day for my skin, and just kind of adopting this more holistic approach to life. And so part of that was eating really healthy and eating a lot of superfoods and really healthy superfood oils. But then also I started to play around with it. I've always been a very DIY person, as I mentioned earlier, and I started to play around with, okay, like how do I use this rose water on my skin? How do I use chia oil, avocado, matcha, coconut oil? And I really started stripping it down to just the basics of my skincare routine. And I found that I had never used an oil before in my life because everybody told me
Because
like
why would
oil-free,
you?
non-comedogenic,
Right.
all of that.
Totally.
And
When
it was
it
so...
first came out, we're all freaked out. Like, what do you
Everybody
mean
was so
oil?
freaked out, yeah. And I found that it was the first time, like within a week, I saw that it was the first time I put something on my skin and it didn't sting and it felt like I had that moisture and that nourishment back.
Isn't that so interesting though? Because for so long I punished my skin.
Yep.
I was actually
Exactly.
harming it. I
Yep.
was so mad, and that really did have an effect on me emotionally
Yep.
and mentally, not only just physically. When I started loving on myself more and using more natural products and
Yep.
the oils and things like that, when my skin actually started to heal, and I thought, oh, self-care and
Yep.
soothing is so much more powerful than the chemicals I was trying to use because I was mad at my skin and I was mad at my body.
Totally, and that's such a misconception that you have to like dry your acne out or dry your skin out in order to achieve smoothness and
Acid
fineness.
peels and
Yes,
everything,
exactly,
yeah.
and that stinging is a good thing. And I learned that it's really not, and there's a gentler way to do it, and it was something that I was basically creating these products in my kitchen.
Well, mind you, you're on Wall Street,
Yeah.
and you developed the matcha stick, so tell us
Yeah.
about that.
So, you know, my whole bathroom was covered in all these ingredients and none of them had labels, and I would just know like, okay, that's, you know, chia oil, that's sacha inchi oil, that's sunflower oil, and I really got to know all the ingredients and studied so much about them. But I was working like 16-hour days at the least, and it was really frustrating to me because I would make these products for myself, but then when I would go to the store, and I really didn't have an intention of starting a skincare company because I didn't feel like there was place for me in that industry, not only as a founder, but as a consumer too, to come in and be like, I have these vulnerabilities, I've actually dealt with these issues. It never even crossed my mind, honestly, for the first like 4 years of making these skincare products for myself, that maybe I should sell this. But the problem was that when I went to stores and when I went online, everything was so expensive and there were all these filler ingredients, and I knew like what's actually in the bottle is like 1/100th of the cost of the product, and it's all the extra stuff.
I think it's so beautiful from a spiritual perspective that what the hardest thing we go through often becomes, you know, the purpose and what we're here for. And I'm a true believer that we even choose it to understand it and to go through that and whatever. But we're talking also about inner circle. And, you know, you've had success. What did you have to do in your life? And maybe as the inner circle also of, you know, you're working all those hours, how much did all changing your inner circle play into success and bringing this to life?
Yeah, I mean, I think whenever you deal with a challenge, or then for me starting a company, a big thing is you want to feel really authentic. And the moment you start feeling like you're not being yourself, then things don't go right. I think that's like a common theme in my life. And so for me, I am an introvert, and it's super important for me to surround myself with people who allow me to feel myself. And so it's actually pretty simple for me because you know, being an entrepreneur, you're just so busy that I just don't have time for people that unless I know that I love them or I'm forming something really special with them, and I care so much about that individual bond with people more than I do about going to a party.
Which brings up your foundation and giving back over $35,000 to young entrepreneurs. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so last year we gave back $35,000 to health, wellness, and sustainability female founders. And a big thing was that I found that not only do women have a harder time fundraising, but a lot of people think that they need to raise X million dollars in order to start the business. And we've gotten to a pretty far place with Coco Kind without raising a dime so far. And that's what I wanted to show people, is that you don't always need to do that, and you can take a lot of small steps. So for us, we give grants between $2,500 to $10,000.
Wow.
That's incredible. But your products are in stores nationwide. Whole Foods, Target, and you did this without any investment?
Yeah.
How? Yes, that is incredible.
Wow.
I always say that I've done business in a really old school way. It's a new school business done in an old school way, and that's just knocking on doors.
You're right there in the fields of Peru.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so last year we went to Peru. We work with a cooperative there that sources and grows our organic sacha inchi, which is actually in this golden elixir product. And so we work with the local communities and the Amazon to purchase this and purchase and grow this ingredient, which is so amazing. And that's something that we tell the full story of how this ends up from literally in the Amazon all the way to Target, Amazon, Whole Foods, our website.
So that's in which product here?
The Golden Elixir.
This one. And so
Yes.
tell us about this one.
Yeah, so the Golden Elixir, so it's based on Sacha Inchi oil. So Sacha Inchi is one of the highest antioxidant superfoods out there, and specifically with omega-3 and 6. So for your skin, it's going to be really regenerative, adding that glow to your skin naturally, and it's going to feel really thin, so it's not going to feel too heavy either.
Now, are any of your products specific to helping with scarring that might have happened with hormonal acne?
Yeah, I mean, so I think like one of the biggest things with scarring is that you want to nourish your skin instead of kind of treating it with a bunch of chemicals that sometimes can disrupt other things while they're fixing the pigment. So for us, we concentrate on reducing the appearance of scarring or hyperpigmentation with superfoods. So we have a turmeric stick that is actually, you put it on and then you wipe it off 20 minutes later and it comes on like bright yellow.
Oh, wow.
And it helps to reduce the appearance of any hyperpigmentation or scarring from after breaking out. In addition to that, so that's our matcha stick actually. The matcha stick is also, really rich in chlorophyll and catechins, which helps with promoting healthy circulation. And then in addition to that, we have a vitamin C serum, which is always great for brightening skin.
Oh, fantastic.
So great. What a great
so
story.
Grateful and truly admire you as an entrepreneur.
Thank
you so much, Priscilla. Please tell everyone where they can obviously find and follow your personal journey and get Coco Kind.
Yeah, so you can get Coco Kind at cocokind.com or any Whole Foods or Target store in the country. And you can follow us at Coco Kind Skincare.
Amazing.
Thank you
Great
so
work.
much. Stay
Thank
tuned
you,
for
guys.
more on Good Morning La La Land. Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk.
You have 5 people that are the wind beneath your wings and in creating your legacy.
Wow. Wow. That is.
They can be living or past.
I know. This is like, I don't want to cry. Like seriously, it's like when you.
Tears of joy.
Like, no, it's like, you feel it right here. It's like, oh man, this is really tough for me. I had to say, Elaine McMahon, Elaine Howard, Pam Howard, Michael Jackson, Joseph Jackson, my mother. I mean, they're really important to me, and they protect me, and they kept me safe.
EverTalk is hashtag community powered, so we are excited to offer you a free 30-day subscription to explore the talk shows that will bring you timeless entertainment and evergreen conversations that will inspire, uplift, and empower you anytime, anywhere at EverTalk TV. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. Why blend in when you can stand out? The co-founders of the Res app are here today. Congratulations on the launch of this incredible platform, an all-in-one dashboard for college students.
Yes.
Right. Tell us a little bit about the platform itself.
So essentially what it is what we like to call a socially conscious social media platform, primarily for students in college prep, but for everyone really. And it gives you an opportunity to really collect your achievements, your activities in a timeline that makes it very easy to talk about the full student these days.
So you're going to actually hashtag humble brag.
Yes.
Where it gives you purpose, though, because a lot of times
Absolutely.
people are afraid to put their achievements on Facebook or on Instagram because they don't want to come off conceited. But really, that's what makes them stand out, so they could get into the school they actually want.
And we wanted to, we had 2 teenage daughters, okay, and so social media hit. It was a little bit daunting for us to see the way it was driving people and the way they focus, especially girls.
Right.
Suddenly the selfie and the look at me meant, and we were kind of like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And we wanted to drive more about what you can do socially, like the community service you're doing, the achievements you're making that are positive. And it's not about, we really didn't want it to be a brag book, but we want it to be, what am I doing to change the world around me, and less about just being the cutest, kid in town, so to speak.
Right.
And not saying that's not an awesome, amazing piece of it,
The
but.
world needs a platform to really
Right.
celebrate those
Right.
achievements and those contributions.
Right. Yeah. And when you prep for college today, not only are they looking for your academic achievements, your GPA and your SAT and ACT scores, but now they want to know the full student, right? And one of my jokes I tell with Jill is they want to know the tight-roping and the biology student, right?
Right.
And so you want to make sure that you can showcase that in a way that shows there's more to you, especially if you are an introvert or someone that's shy or who's not going to always shout it out, or I always say the one that's raising their hand the highest in class. So we wanted to give a platform that allows everyone to level the playing field. Again, one of the things Jill and I are very conscious of, I have a senior, is college counselors and awesome, amazing opportunities to help students, but not everyone, you know, in LA, let alone in Orange County, can afford to go out and get those support. And so we want to have those students that are ambitious on their own have a platform.
This is so important. You know, when you get verified on social media, they basically want a bunch of links of the media that you've been. And you can buy media, you know what I mean? So I would love to see something like this more on what it means to be somebody that is, you know, has a blue check mark. You know, like what are you actually doing in the world? And what do you actually, our value system definitely needs to shift for sure. So what is the platform? Where is it? How do people get to it? Like what is it exactly?
It's a website. Go ahead, Jill, you want to talk a little bit about where it is?
Yeah, sure. It's a website, and it's www.resep.com, and it's a website you can go on, you create your log on, and then you start creating a wheel. So it's basically, and it was interesting doing I have 2 daughters, doing their wheels, I could really see their personalities pop. Because you go in and you create these activities within categories, and it starts painting a picture of who they are in a really positive light. And so, you know, to what Lisa was talking about, it's about that peer-to-peer positivity, right? Let's be supportive versus, you know, and she teases me all the time, I have the selfie down, but I really, truly,
She's
you know,
my 13-year-old
it's scary when you have kids, you know, that they're consumed with it. My young or older daughter, she got off Instagram for a year because there was so much pressure she felt. So I was proud of her for doing that. So
Well, I think it's really interesting, too, point you brought up that you created these wheels for your daughters. So is this something primarily that parents are doing, or a way that you can work
Both.
together?
We'd like them both to do it because we were in there trying to see all the different pieces. We kind of were looking at what's the easiest way, and what we're finding is it helps them organize. It's easy to use. It's intuitive, and as you build this category, so we just had some social media, you know, like a Cassie Randolph and some of the people we told you about that are excited for us to be here. And I said, well, put some things about your speech pathology degree and put things about the community service you're doing and the foundations you work with. And that tells people a little bit more about you. So with our students, let's say they have academics they're achieving. Katie, my senior, she's probably going to say, don't put my name, does a lot of community service. And I said, you should put that on there, you know, start categorizing. And then you see the wheel kind of show you a percentage of what you're spending your time on.
Oh, I love it. It's almost like a visual LinkedIn.
It is a very visual.
Yes.
You said it for me.
Yes. Very well said.
I didn't give her that tip.
I think lots of people have ideas for platforms,
Yeah.
and they want to create something incredible. But you guys actually took this dream you had and made it a reality. What do you think that you did right along the way to make it successful in the way that it is now?
Oh gosh, you know, I think we always kind of knew, our team, that we wanted to do something big. But for me, my inspiration, unfortunately, a friend of mine lost his son very early. And at his funeral, hearing them talk, thousands of kids are talking about this kid and the amazing things that he did, and he never gives up. And for me, that just clicked, and I just thought, you know what? If he can do it, he's inspired me. We've got to do this, and we connected, and I said, we've got to do this, and it's been a long, process. You know, there's late nights, and the last guest was talking about, I mean, no funding, just day after day, just working together and working through testing groups, and here we are today.
I mean, I think we really I think when social media hit and we wanted to combine it, we started realizing that we wanted a platform, and we wanted I'm always talking to what you were talking about, your inner circle earlier.
Yeah.
I've always said to the girls and the kids around me, you are the company you keep. And so I think it's important that they kind of start driving that message now more than ever in the lay of the land right now. I mean, I have a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old, and I am very conscientious of being a socially conscious social media user. And along the way, let's present them for colleges.
Yes, absolutely. The best possible way.
Yeah.
Well, please tell everyone where they can find, follow, and create their own.
So www.rezapp, which is REZZAP.com, and then at official Rezapp please follow us there on Instagram. We're going to be highlighting a lot of key things that we're doing, from college scholarships to anything that's kind of pertained to there. So we appreciate the time today, guys.
Oh,
Thank you.
absolutely. We are Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. All of today's interviews are available as a podcast on iTunes, and the whole show is streaming on EverTalk TV, on Apple TV and Roku.
That's right. We're waking up the world together, guys. It's Thought Thursday. Make sure you choose your inner circle consciously. Have a great day.
It's going to be a good morning, La La Land.